Hello, my name is Chin Siu Fan.
Hi, my name is Nur Ilyana Zihan.
Hi, my name is Stacy.
Hi, I'm Divya Tashni.
Hello, my name is Raziz Noirwan bin Abdurrahman.
Hello, everyone. Let me start with the objective of this assignment because from the subject of Introduction to Behavioral Analysis in Psychology, we learn that human behavior encompasses everything a person does, including the thoughts, feeling, physical actions. Behavior is unique, that it is measurable, observable, and also can be influenced by the environmental factors. So in this group assignment, we are required to apply a specific behavior modification principles to alter a particular behavior. Therefore, our group has chosen the topics of excessive social media engagement. So the rationale behind for this choice is that we notice young people are often observed to spend a significant time on social media platforms. Therefore, through this assignment, we target to identify and define the target behavior of excessive social media engagement, assess it, track it using the token economy method, measure the changes in the behavior, and of course, ultimately determine whether positive behavioral outcome can be achieved or not. So in our group, we have our group member have volunteered to be the target individual for this study. Her name is Desi. Maybe Desi, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, my name is Stacy from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. I am the subject for this project. This year I am 18 years old, and before this project started, I've been using social media excessively to fill time and when I'm bored and sad. But because now I am studying diploma in Unitar, I want to lessen my screen time so that I can focus more on studying and doing more healthy activity. Thank you to my group mates for helping me to decrease my screen time.
For this subject, the social media engagement refers to prolonged and frequent use of social media application as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and also X, typically amounting to an average of 12 hours per day before this treatment was started. We start this project on 8 September. Behavior interferes with daily activities such as study time and sleep, which leads to unhealthy lifestyle. Our subject for this topic is Desi. She was a student, and we have asked her a few questions that we conducted on 11 October 2025. We asked her about her family, which told us that her father working full-time, her mother is a full-time housewife, and she has two elder siblings, which is a brother and a sister. So the gap between her and her brother and a sister was around 5 to 7 years. Her first exposure for social media, it was actually when she was 10 years old, when her brother passed down to her his phone. We also asked her about her friends. Did she meet them face to face? She said yes. She didn't use that much when she was with her friends. So how much time does she spend on her phone daily? And because she was a fan to multi-fandom like Treasure and BTS K-pop groups, so she mostly used TikTok, X, and YouTube. One of the reasons why she was continuously in social media is because of boredom, loneliness, and also when she was sad. So when she was sad, her usage for social media increased by a lot. On the interview, Daisy said it helps her to cope with the negative feelings. She did admit that she makes social media as an escapism, and her tendency to spend time alone at home contribute to the antecedent condition that trigger prolonged phone use.
For the objective to change the target behavior, during the interview, Daisy expressed a motivation to reduce excessive social media usage and spend more time focusing on her studies. She also recognized that her mother's earlier effort to limit her phone use were intended for her own well-being. Furthermore, Daisy realized the negative implication for her current behavior on her health, particularly her eyesight. Having already developed vision problems since young, her extensive screen time has worsened her eyes condition to a power of 500 degrees. On this insight, the objective of changes the target behavior to reduce the amount of time spent on social media from an average of 12 hours per day to a more manageable and healthy duration. Now we're going to see the frequency table before the treatment. Day 1, the time she spent on social media, 12 hours 58 minutes. On second day, 9 of September, 6 hours 58 minutes. Third day, 10 September, 6 hours 58 minutes. On fifth day, 12 hours, 9 minutes. On 6th day, 9 hours. On 7th day, 14th of September, she spent on social media 9 hours and 23 minutes. On Sunday, mostly on Twitter.
Okay, so for this program, we created a token economy for DC. We made some target behaviors positive. You trying to use positive reinforcement and also negative reinforcement. Which some of the target behaviors that we chose are stay off social media below 6 hours, sleep early before 11 p.m., spend 3 hours on studying, waking up without scrolling the phone first thing in the morning, which we always do this, taking care of her pet, cleaning her house, hanging out with friends, reading books. And so for the negative one, we did list down some like use phone for more than 6 hours, sleep late. So we can, if she did this, we will reduce her points. And our backup reinforces like she can buy her favorite snack or drink, a weekend outing with her friend, or maybe because she's a K-pop fan, so K-pop album purchase. So Daisy, I do want to ask you during this program how the process that you make during this treatment program.
Okay, while I am in the treatment, the way I try to lessen my screen time, I'm helping my family to cook and prepare breakfast. I also start read books and hang out with friends, like jogging, exercise to my body health. I also sometimes walk with my dog to the park in the evening.
So with this, we have seen actually quite big changes in October. So the frequency table before was in September. So the updated version in October, which we started on 14 October to see how it works. So on 14 October, her screen time reduced to 5 hours, which she was mostly on TikTok only. And then on 15 October, decreased for 4 hours. But then in 16 and 17, she has a little bit of relapse. So around 5 and 6 hours. And on 18 and 19 October, she maintains to have 5 hours of daily usage, which I think is good. But the last one, before this report was made and before this presentation, Daisy has made quite a huge improvement, which we think it's very good, which is around only 3 hours in a day. And she was reading books. So I guess reading book is a good thing to reduce social media usage.
Other than the token economy that we have shared earlier for the treatment, our team member also identified there are other possible treatment that can be used if given chance. For example, we have discussed a few of them. Probably we have 6. The first one, we identified the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which can actually help and identify the challenge in negative thought like boredom, loneliness, which then replace an irrational belief with positive one to strengthen the self-control. The second possible treatment is the group counseling or the support group. This is actually provides the motivation and share experience among the individual with similar struggles. The method actually encourage accountability and emotional support, which can involve the family, friends, foster a supportive, phone-free environmental like probably family meals. Third treatment that could be applied will be the mindfulness and meditation practice. So this is actually to increase a person's self-awareness and emotional regulation. The techniques, for example, deep breathing, journaling, and also the guided meditation, which help to resist impulsive phone checking habits. Fourth treatment suggested is environmental modification. For example, turn off unnecessary notification from the phone, use gray mode or move application off from the home screen to reduce the attractiveness of phone, reduce visual and auditory trigger that prompt usage. The fifth one is actually the time management and reward system, which can actually set a specific time limit for social media, reward progress to build intrinsic motivation and consistency. Lastly, if the condition is really uncontrollable, so that person can actually, we are thinking probably the last resort is actually seek the professional counseling or coaching, meaning personalize the strategy to manage the underlying emotion and psychological issue. So our group also discussed basically if combining all these possible treatment like CBT, mindfulness, social support, environmental control, which actually can create a comprehensive and sustainable plan. And of course, at the end of the day, to promote a long-term balanced digital habits to reduce the screen time. So the next topics on evaluation and effectiveness of the treatment program, I would like to share that the theoretical basis that we use to apply the operant conditioning and apply behavioral analysis, which include behavioral self-management technique, are stimulus control, time monitoring, and also the replacement behavior. During the implementation, we actually conduct the daily and probably the weekly monitoring, like what we have done, mentioned by team member just now, the screening time in September comparing to October. Basically, this implementation focus on awareness and emotional regulation, treatment strategies, and also the daily check-ins. And of course, it's also include the skill building and also the progress tracking. And the result we have observed is basically the average daily screen time reduced slowly, gradually from 12 hours to 5 hours, and the last 3 hours. Basically, this quantitative indicator like screen time, social media frequency, and also the emotion levels has been like improved significantly. Behavioral change actually is including the increase of self-control and emotional awareness that successfully adopt the positive activities replaced by light exercise, helping family with breakfast, reading, face-to-face interaction with friends. In between, there is a little partial relapse because during the stress or boredom time, there is a slightly increase of the usage of phone. But of course, it's actually indicate the sensitivity to the emotion trigger. And in a summary or in this part, I think we still overall think that the program actually show moderate to high effectiveness is because it's actually improved DESI psychological well-being and also the digital balance. Of course, continuous reinforcement and emotional support are the key to sustain the change of behavioral from a excessive to a lower usage of the screen time on the phone.
For the next part, the changes to make is to continue the change, the chosen behavior. To continue improving and maintaining progress, several meaningful changes should be implemented in both daily routine and personal mindset. The first important change is to develop a more structured daily schedule that clearly separate online and offline time. By allocating specific time slot for social media use, for example, checking updates only in the morning and evening, the individual can maintain better control and prevent random, impulsive scrolling. Another key change is to strengthen self-discipline through consistent monitoring and reflection. To sustain the positive changes, increasing social physical engagement is also crucial. At the same time, practicing mindfulness and relaxation technique such as meditation or deep breathing can help manage stress and anxiety that may otherwise trigger compulsive social media use.
Before we conclude the conclusion, we would like to ask Desi, how do you feel, Desi, for the overall program and the treatment? Does it improve everything?
I feel better, and now I'm actually focused more on studying.
All right. In conclusion, the behavioral analysis of excessive social media engagement revealed that the behavior was primarily maintained through both positive and negative reinforcement. The intervention program implemented for Desi was highly effective in addressing her excessive social media engagement and promoting positive behavioral change. At the beginning of the program, Desi demonstrated strong dependence on social media platforms, using them as a primary source of distraction and emotional escape. This behavior had negatively affected her study, sleep quality, and healthy lifestyle, and also her focus. Through consistent participation in the treatment process, which integrated operation conditioning and applied behavior analysis or ABA principles, Desi gradually developed the awareness and skills needed to regain control over her digital behavior. The use of self-monitoring and stimulus control strategies helped Desi recognize the specific triggers that led to compulsive scrolling, such as boredom, stress, and the urge of social validation. Over the course of the program, Desi successfully reduced her daily social media usage by more than half, which is a very good improvement, demonstrating increased self-regulation and discipline. This behavioral shift directly contributed to noticeable improvement in her academic focus, study consistency, and overall emotional well-being, feeling less anxious, more confident, and more capable of managing her time productively. Although occasionally lapses occur during high-stress periods, overall, they see progress remain stable, showing that the behavioral changes were not temporary but developing into sustainable habits. The combination of structured intervention, goal setting, and continuous reinforcement was crucial to her success. So, Desi case highlights the effectiveness of behaviorally grounded interventions in managing digital overuse. Desi positive outcomes serve as an encouraging example that excessive social media engagement can be successfully managed through commitment, self-awareness, support system from family and friends, and evidence-based behavioral strategies. So today, this is our presentation today for our topic, excessive social media engagement. The subject is Daisy. I want to thank Daisy so much for giving her time and are willing to be interviewed by all of us. She actually did giving her progress and her process to us so that we can also check her almost daily and weekly until this analysis meet. So thank you so much, everyone.